Uluslararası Satınalma ve Tedarik Yönetimi Federasyonu'ndan CEO'sunu davet edeceğim. May I invite dear Malcolm Youngson. Welcome.
Good morning. Hello, good morning. Thank you very much. Congratulations for being here so early in the morning and on a Saturday as well. I'm from the UK and I can assure you if this conference was happening in my country on a Saturday, then I'd be talking to myself. In fact, I probably wouldn't be here myself. So congratulations for turning up and being prompt, and I'm delighted to be with you. I'm Malcolm Youngson. I'm the Chief Executive of IFPSM. So let me tell you a little bit about IFPSM. It's actually our 45th anniversary this year. So we're a bit like myself. We've been around for a long time. IFPSM represents currently 45 national associations within the purchasing, procurement and supply chain profession. And Tüsayder is one of our members, which I'm very delighted to confirm that I actually played a small role in helping them to become a member of our global community. We're a not-for-profit organisation, we're an NGO, we are a non-commercial organisation. And we're here very much to support the profession. Some ways to lead the profession. We support the profession and lead the profession by working in partnership. And as all you professionals in the audience today will know, that partnership is one of the only ways, probably the only way, that you could actually make progress in this world and in this profession. So we work with organisations such as the United Nations, the European Union and the World Bank. Our vision is to support our members, and our members are associations. So we're not like Tüsayder, who have individual members and perhaps corporate members. Our members are not-for-profit associations such as Tüsayder across the world. We have a very democratic governance. The membership elect our board of directors, and the board of directors elect our president. Our current president, who's just coming towards the end of his 3-year term of office, is a gentleman called Mr. Ho Ming, who works and is based in Beijing. And I'm glad to confirm that we made a decision in September that our next president was actually here this time last year at your conference, Mr. Sean O'Dwyer from Ireland. Some of you who were at the conference. How many were at the conference last year? Hands up. Okay, so maybe 50%. So you may remember Sean, I think he was on at the end of the programme last year. So he will be our new president as of January 2020. One of the activities that we undertake in support of the profession, and particularly to raise the standards globally, is our global standard. There's that picture again. So what is the global standard? So we're not here to train and develop individuals. We're here to try and raise the quality of the training that is an offer through our associations and outside organisations from our associations. So the IFPSM Global Standard is designed for as an independent assessment of educational programmes. Now, I think the previous speaker mentioned that the majority of you have already gone through some form of university training and education, and now you're attending this conference to support your development as already professionals in employment. So how do you know? It's interesting. What I'm looking at here is a blank screen, but up here it's working fine. So how do you know what is a good educational programme? What is the benchmark that you need to look at when you're considering which educational programme to take? I would suggest it needs to be independently assessed, and one of our products is the IFPSM Global Standard. So look out for that, because it also adds credibility to the certification that you achieve as individuals if it's being recognised at a global standard. We also run the IFPSM Summer School, which takes place in Amsterdam every year around about April time. And that's designed for people who actually want to take the next level, perhaps a postgraduate degree, after their undergraduate degree. So we offer a summer school. All these products and services are based as a not-for-profit. So we're not commercial, we're not trying to make a profit out of this. We're just trying to add value to the profession. We recently had, in September, our annual conference, the World Summit. The previous year it was in Taiwan, and next year it's in Mombasa in Kenya. And that brings the global community that we represent together under one roof for 3 days to talk about and share their own experiences and their own expertise. Something perhaps Tüsayder might consider to host the World Summit, the IFPSM World Summit, at some point in the future. So that's a little bit about IFPSM. What I really wanted to talk about, as I indicated when I was trying to fill what I thought was a blank screen in front of me, when actually there was a slide up here behind me, is about people. Now, I'm pretty sure today you've already heard a lot about technology and 4.0 and blockchain. And you, being procurement professionals, you're very, very familiar with processes. And you're also very familiar that particularly our profession is changing at a faster rate than ever before, certainly ever before in my experience and in my lifetime. And it's to do with disruptive technologies coming into play and in some ways replacing us, potentially, and certainly meaning that we have to change. And of course, change is something we're all used to, particularly, I think I can speak quite authoritatively that I'm the oldest person in this room. And so even for me, I'm experiencing the speed of change. I can still remember when to make a phone call, you actually had to go and lift a handset and stand by the phone. And of course, that's ancient history, and the majority of you in this room will have no memory of that at all. Whereas now with technology, change is with us constantly, and change is constantly taking place. So we have to adapt to change. And particularly in the world that we live in with regarding artificial intelligence. I think a gentleman was reminding me earlier that when I was here last year, I mentioned the IBM Watson and how amazing that is. And if you haven't heard of Watson, you want to go onto the web and actually put in IBM Watson and see what it can offer and actually how it's going to help all professions, particularly procurement, to develop and change. But one thing that artificial intelligence cannot do at this point, and hopefully never will be able to do, is to be human and to offer what humans can offer. 3 main elements: desire, emotion, and knowledge. Desire, I think we all have a desire to improve because we're here today. Knowledge, we all want to gain knowledge from today. And also, I would suggest that an awful lot of your personal time has gone into gaining knowledge, and particularly within your profession, gaining knowledge that enhances your skills. But I wonder how much time you spend on improving your emotional intelligence. So I'd like a show of hands. How many people, apart from today, have attended conferences, seminars, lectures, networking with the purpose of gaining knowledge? Okay, so there's a few people who have never done any of that, which I find totally amazing. Particularly this group here doesn't seem to be responding at all. But I would argue that the vast majority of us have all attended lots of training and educational events in our career. How many of you have spent any time considering your emotional intelligence? Well, that's lucky. I can see about 3 or 4 hands out of the audience. Well, I think you're making a mistake, because it's actually been proven that 85% of our financial success is due to personality and ability to communicate and negotiate and lead. Only 15% is to do with technical knowledge. And the majority of people in this room spend their time gaining technical knowledge, and a very, very, very small minority in this room spend time developing their ability to communicate, negotiate, and lead. And 85% of our success, financial success, is based on those last 3 elements. And when I saw that, I was quite amazed. maybe very early in the morning. I'm not sure whether you're amazed or whether you're actually with me or whether you're still awake and looking forward to the first coffee of the day, or perhaps the second coffee a day. But it's quite significant, that statistic. Obviously, if you don't understand people, you don't understand your business. But today we'll be talking a lot about technologies, we'll be talking a lot about processes. So my argument to you today is just consider other areas of your own personal development outside learning and developing your knowledge base. Spend time thinking about how you listen, how you learn, how you communicate, how you interact with colleagues and with competitors and with suppliers. I'm not going to read that out because that's one of the things I was told at a very early stage. Never read out your own slides because people can read the slides as well as you can. But that's, if you like, a definition of what I'm talking about, emotional intelligence. How many people have heard of IQ? How many people have heard of EI? 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, we all go to school, we all learn, and we all want to gain more knowledge. And IQ is a measure of our intelligence quota. But actually, my argument is you need to spend as much, if not more time, on your emotional intelligence, your EI. Good news is that your EI can grow and get larger. IQ doesn't change. I'm going to show you a video. I hope I'm going to show you a video. I'm going to try and show you a video.
Intelligence is a broad description of the ability to understand emotions, manage relationships with the recognition and understanding of other people. To you, status, seniority, learning, relationships with other people, satisfaction, inside and outside, and we will see you become creative, emotional intelligence. Some of your career highs and lows to date have had their outcomes driven. Intelligence, there is a direct correlation, outcomes or results. Here's just 3 examples. In management and leadership positions, emotional intelligence, when combined with experience, the best predictor of executive success, approximately 40% more successful. Sales results, where sales reps have been consulted and coached in respect to BI, have seen sales increase some 10 to 20%. Organizations which have worked proactively to develop the emotional nutrition. EI is twice as important as IQ in determining future career success. And now for the good news. Unlike IQ, it can be developed. Can you develop it? There are 4 basic areas in which professionals apply emotional intelligence in decision-making and leadership. To understand your emotions, performance, be aware, their concerns, self-management, controlling your emotions, and using your awareness of them distinctly. Social skills and relationship management, your ability to use your awareness of your own emotions, together with your understanding of the emotions of others, to manage interactions successfully. Consider the 4-factor model and review any appraisal documentation and 360-degree feedback. Reflect on any conversations you have. Get feedback from those around you and your trusted advisors. Ask yourself, what worked well? What could have gone better? What do you wish you had done differently? What did you learn? Having become better acquainted with your emotional intelligence, you should now consider how you can better apply it.
Okay, sorry about that. I hope you got the gist of it. Hope you managed to get some of that, even though the sound wasn't particularly good, but I think the slides were quite powerful. I don't know where you are in your careers. I know where I am in my career because I'm coming to the end of my career. And my personal journey has been different and unique to anybody else's in this room because it's my journey. But I was brought up as a young manager to lead, and you led through the mantra that you were the manager, so people had to follow you, and that was it. Today is a much more healthy environment, I would argue, and certainly what I've experienced recently, that people are now much more aware that they have to work together. No matter what position you are in your organisation, you need to collaborate. You have to care for individuals. The day of actually just saying, I'm the manager, that's where we're going, doesn't work nowadays. And if you're going to actually embrace that and recognise that and agree what I've just stated there, then you have to spend time developing your emotional intelligence, developing your people skills. Forget buzzwords like EI. It's all about people, and we're all people in this room. My argument to you is that if we want to continue to be successful as individuals and work with the changes that are taking place, such as artificial intelligence, then we have to maximise the thing that makes us unique, and that's our people skills, our emotional intelligence skills. So I really urge you all to think about how you communicate, and of course communication is more than just simply doing what I'm just now, which is talking at you, but listening, active listening, and understanding individuals. A number of years ago, and if this was a different format, I'd be actually asking you to do this, but a number of years ago, I was introduced to a very interesting little, it's not hardly a test, but an experience. Because it's quite difficult when you're standing here, I can assure you, but it's quite difficult when you're in the audience and you're sitting with a lot of people that you've never met before. And after I stand down, you're having a networking session. And that's where, of course, you've all got to go out there and you're meant to go and meet new people and understand their experiences and benefit from that conversation. But it's quite difficult. I always find it quite difficult because meeting new people and not understanding what their interests are is quite difficult. So this exercise I was just introduced to, which I suggest you maybe try in your work environment. Perhaps when you go back to work on Monday, maybe just take some time with some colleagues and ask them to try this exercise. It's very, very simple. You basically draw. You use pictures rather than words to share your life journey or a part of your life journey through very, very simple cartoon drawing, and ask the person to do the same and then have a discussion around it. Guarantee that at the end of that exercise, you'll have learned more about that person, you'll have more empathy towards that person, more understanding of that person than you'd have had by just simply having a talk over a cup of coffee. So pictures are very powerful. I'd argue probably even more powerful in some circumstances than writing things down. So try that. Try that out there during coffee. You may not be able to draw something while you're having a cup of coffee, but think about understanding, asking people to explain about themselves. If you can get a real close personal relationship with people within a working environment, then you'll be a better team. Then you'll deliver more for your organisation. That's what emotional intelligence is, and that's what emotional intelligence can actually empower you to actually support your development, not only just through coming to events where you're learning technical information. I mentioned this before. You have the ability, I have the ability, even at my great age, to actually improve my EI. And I'm not an expert, but I'm still learning, and I've certainly tried to embrace it. If I hadn't tried to embrace developing my EI, I can guarantee you I would not be standing here today because I wouldn't have the confidence to stand here today. So I'm going to finish early, I think, because according to my stopwatch, I've still got 9 minutes, but I know we're running slightly behind time, so I think that's a benefit for everybody. The last thing I'd like to say is I'd like to thank Tüsayder for inviting me here. Today is a really important day for me because today is my last ever conference presentation because at the end of this year I retire. So I cannot think of a better place to deliver my last ever conference presentation in my very long career, but in Istanbul, despite the dreadful weather. So my last slide, I think, sums up what I'm now going to go and do in my future. Thank you very much.
Please. Değerli konuklar, bir teşekkürümüz var Sayın Youngs'a. Öncelikle plaket takdimleri için Tüsayder Uluslararası İlişkiler Eğitim Komitesi Başkanı Doktor Sayın Sevgi Yılmaz'ı davet etmek istiyoruz. Sayın Sevgi Yılmaz bir plaket takdimi gerçekleştirecekler. Evet, Uluslararası Satınalma ve Tedarik Yönetimi Federasyonu'ndan Sayın Malcolm Youngson bizlerle birlikteydi ve kendisinin kıymetli sunumlarını az önce keyifle izledik. Ve Sayın Youngson'a teşekkür ediyoruz bugün bizlerle birlikte oldukları için. Ve Sayın Youngson'un sunumu hepimiz için büyük keyif vericiydi ve bol bol not aldık kendisinin bu değerli sunumundan. Thank you very much Mr. Youngson. Evet, teşekkür ediyoruz ve devam edelim.